All right, welcome back to Planet Gen X, where we love everything nerd culture. We like Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, wrestling, you name it, TV, movies, games, whatever. It doesn't matter. If it's from the 70s, if it's from the 80s, we love it. 90s too. We'll take 90s. We'll even take early 2000s, right? Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Anything that's come out, you know.
Actually, we'll take today. We'll take today as well. There we go. So
we
love it all. As long as it's nerd culture in general, we love it. Yes. All right, man. I'm so happy to see you right now. How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. I've been a little busy the past couple of weeks, but otherwise good. How are you?
Yeah. Equally as busy. It seems like I'm always adding stuff, trying to slide an extra thing in there past my hyper focus and see if I can get something else done.
The Tower of Chaos.
Yes, they're everywhere.
Keep piling on.
Doom piles. I was thinking about that today. I've got this massive pile of just junk mail. It's usually credit card related stuff. You know, people wanting to give you a loan and stuff like that. And that's one of my Doom piles. I've also got a bunch of boxes that I've been holding on to in case I need to ship something back, and I haven't done that in a while. So it's just unnecessary junk that I'm slowly getting rid of. But Doom piles, man, that's an ADHD thing for sure. Yeah, we're not even talking ADHD today, but we can always talk it, and that's just something. When
we don't have to talk about it to be about it, right?
That's right. And you said, you just mentioning piles made me think of that for sure. But I think today most of what we have to talk about is going to be as it kicked off on Friday. Today's Saturday. With Star Wars Celebrations, which a lot of news came down from Star Wars Celebrations yesterday and today. Right. So we'll be talking about some of that news that came down. But before we do that, we'll have some other nerd culture news because it was kind of a lot of stuff. Different things happening this week. That's basically what we've got in store for you. But please, guys, we know you like us by now, hopefully. Give us a subscribe. Please hit that like button so the algorithm will be kinder to us.
Tell us your thoughts, please.
Yes. Leave some comments, suggestions, ideas for episodes like we've talked about the Goonies in the past. If you have something you would like to hear us reminisce about, perhaps, something like that.
Well, we haven't done a Doctor Who one yet.
I know. It seems so obvious for me, doesn't it? You would think I'd be right on top of it. I have put thought into, am I going to do anything Doctor Who related now that I'm on YouTube? I'm sure the answer to that question is yes. I don't know when. I used to be such a ridiculous uber nerd with just knowing stupid amounts of Doctor Who information. Classic Doctor Who, mainly.
Right.
But of course, up until... Right, I was pretty much that way with the new Doctor Who, too, up until Russell T. Davies left. And then after that, it just became... I was still watching it, but I just could not keep up with the grind of it, man. Just knowing... I didn't watch it enough. Like, I've watched those classic ones so many times that, it's just like second nature. Know every one of them just about by heart. And as a kid who had a lot of free time, I also had a lot of time to know every stupid little detail there was to know about it. And of course, some stuff's been forgotten, unfortunately. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. Just got to rattle it loose. Haven't had to use it in a while.
That also fed into your whole Anglophile thing.
Oh, it did, yeah. Yeah, well, I still maintain to this day that, if you believe in reincarnation or something like that, then I was definitely someone from at least Britain, somewhere in there. I kind of feel like I was a little street urchin, but
right.
Like an Oliver Twist. I think I've brought that up before. We never did find out that dude's name, we
didn't.
Geez, it came to me later, and now I've forgotten it again. Such is the way.
All right, well, let's get back on track.
Yeah. News.
What do we got in news?
News we have. Asus is making a Steam Deck clone. Competitor, not clone. A competitor. They all look the same, so I guess they're all kind of clones.
Right.
But they're about to start doing pre-orders for it. But I I think it's too little too late, man, because here's where I think the Steam Deck rises. I'll give a couple of examples. One, Steam.
Yeah.
How are you going to compete with that?
I don't know, man.
I mean, that it's putting everything any person could want, almost. You know, I know that not every game is on there.
But it's extensive.
Yeah, it's an extensive library of games, and they have good prices on stuff. They have sales all the time. They have the ability to let Linux users play games through. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's pretty vast. And I don't know if Asus could come out with, a better box with faster, video chip or something like that, faster processor. But and that kind of thing will pick up some enthusiasts. But the second thing is, one thing was the upgradability of the Steam Deck. They've already had a motherboard come out for it, and I think they've had a motherboard come out. Well, they've had upgrades, I think, come out for it. I don't want to go too far with that and speak out of turn, because I realize I'm getting this confused with another company in my head. That laptop company that is modular. Everything can be. Their name was on the tip of my tongue. Linus Torvald not Torvald. Linus Media Group, dude. He is an investor in them, and I was just seeing a video about them. I'm sorry, I can't think of their name. But they're modular and everything, and they actually had a motherboard upgrade for their laptop. And rather than just you throw away your old motherboard, which has the CPU and video chip and all that crap on it already, they had a 3D printed case made for it, so you could make a little desktop out of it.
Right.
With just a couple of modifications, but I mean, that's getting off the subject, but that's what I was thinking of at first. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it'll get some people if the specs are right, but we'll just have to see. I have to wait for the reviews to come out. I just don't think it's going to be that big of a.
Yeah, I don't either. I think, there's something to be said about playing your favorite games on the go, right?
Yeah.
And that's why it's done so well. But at the same time, modular is the way to go, because, things will be phased out. You'll need more performance and whatnot. But also, it's just kind of, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's going to be one of those industries that goes by the wayside. Something new is going to come up, and this will be forgotten about.
Yeah, I don't know what the future has got in store for that kind of thing. I mean, like, I look at the success of the Nintendo Switch, and was hugely surprised by that. So you got to look at I think that's kind of like the Nintendo world of the Switch. Like, Switch has the Steam library, Nintendo has their library, and that's why the Switch was so successful, was because you were able to go and play your old games. What's that?
You said Nintendo has Steam.
Oh, did I say it backwards? Jesus, I smoked way too much weed
good.
right before we came on. Yeah, so Nintendo has their library, Steam has their library. Valve has their Steam library. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think and because the Switch is showing its age already. I mean, like, it's pretty much pushed to the point it can possibly go. So it's not going to be the alternative to the Steam. The Steam is definitely, outperforming it. But I think it does come down to being able to access your old favorites. Games you like, and that's something both of those companies provided, and I think that's what made their handheld so special.
Right. I don't know. What I'm thinking is going to eventually replace this is going to be intensive hardware, and everything's going to be offloaded. Like, you'll just be playing remote.
Well, they've certainly tried to do
Kinda
that
like
already.
Stadia, but better.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's been tried, and some people enjoyed it. You got to have that latency, almost nothing, especially for FPS games.
And that's what I'm saying. In the future, like, we'll get there at some point.
Man. In a world where 5 gigabit Ethernet is, 5 gigabit internet, like fiber to your house, is starting to be commonplace. Yeah, it'll easily get there. Anyway, I've spent way more on that subject than I wanted to. I'm almost surprised I put it in the news, honestly.
It's the only thing outside of the two things, right? The Star Trek.
Yeah, pretty much, because everything else is going to be Star Wars related, even though some of it wasn't put at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Speaking of, since we're still in game land, before we move into TV and stuff, The Last of Us is not faring well. Speaking of Steam,
right?
Yeah. So what's going on there, man? Sounds like, though, it looks 43% negative comments since I looked at it.
I mean, from launch, people had problems with the performance, and I don't know. You could maybe make an argument that these are people not running next gen systems, but at 43%, I think it has more to do with the programming. Yeah,
well. I think there's no doubt about that, and I think they issued an apology. I forget who the. I thought I had it written down.
Naughty Dog?
Yeah, I was thinking it was Naughty Dog. I was about to say that, and I've been speaking so much out of turn today. I just didn't want to add insult to injury.
I'm pretty sure it is Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog had issued an apology. I did not read it because I don't have the game, so this isn't my fight. But I want to say that this is common for games nowadays. I mean, performance is always an issue, and it's because these companies have to cover so many different systems nowadays too. You know, and it's all about the one that's going to make the most money, that gets seen the most. So that's probably going to be Xbox or PlayStation, and then PC, unfortunately, is not the top of the list still.
Well, I mean, not just that. It's harder and harder to make a video game, right?
Well, think about it on the PC too. You've got a hodgepodge of different systems that you have to be able to make the game playable on, because everybody has some kind of different configuration. Everybody's performance will vary. Performance may vary.
I say it's so hard to make a video game. It's not necessarily hard to make a video game. It's hard to make a video game right? Yeah. It's the same thing we see in these movies and TV shows that are lackluster to us or whatever. It's all piecemealed out to some other studio, and you get what you get. Yeah. For whatever price point you're trying to get.
Yeah, making games, Unreal has made games real easy to make.
Right.
Beautiful games, real easy to make. But, one user quoted it as hot garbage.
Yeah. I don't know. I really liked The Last of Us, the game. I played it before the remake.
Yeah.
Or whatever they're doing. And it was a cool story. I didn't like it as much as some of my other friends did. I thought it was great. I thought there was a place for it. I enjoyed my playtime. And that's all I can ask out of a game, in my opinion.
Yeah, this falls under the wife's laid down an edict about zombies. So I am not allowed to have zombies in the house right now, which I don't mind because I've put a superhero edict down too.
Right.
So whatever. I've seen enough zombies in my life to be held over.
I always talk about the games I've been playing. It was Evil Within 2. I just picked up Dying Light. It went free on Good Old Games or something like that.
I saw
another freaking zombie game.
I saw that because I saw it on the wares list last night. I thought, I've heard of that game. I may have downloaded it. I can't remember now. I was interested in it. Anyway, I'm digressing. Yeah. That's all I got to say about that. Anything you want to say about The Last of Us anymore?
No, I think that's really about it. I am upset that I don't have HBO. I wanted to see the series.
Yeah. I do have HBO, the little app deal. I could watch it. I haven't watched it yet. Again, that falls under the edict, so that's why I hadn't watched it.
I was curious about that. I was wondering why you didn't watch it.
Yeah, that's the edict there. Because, dude, the only time I get to watch television is with my wife, so we compromise on everything.
Yeah.
She gets to do her thing. I get to watch what I want to watch, and I try not to rock that boat. I'll take care of you if you want those. I'll find them for you.
Okay. Compromise.
Yeah.
Everybody gets something it's not what they want.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You made me think of a story one time at Pizza Hut pizza, man. They got the deep dish, you got the hand toss, and you got the thin crust. And the hand toss is obviously in the middle. Well, a friend of mine, very dear friend, we love barbecue pizza, but I prefer a thick crust because I love that big spongy crust the way it does. Mix it with that barbecue. It's just yum, yum good. Yeah. She prefers the thin one. Well, we could not decide. I insisted that we have that, and she insisted we have her version. We settled on hand tossed. It sucked for both of us.
Yeah, you didn't get your spongy stuff, and she didn't get her crunchy stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, you're absolutely A1 right on that one. Anyway, so I guess we'll just go ahead and move on into the Star Wars. Oh, wait, no, I left something out. Sorry.
We have Star Trek.
Yeah, we have Star Trek news. They have a new show been announced, finally. The Star Trek Starfleet Academy is coming out.
And how have they not done this yet?
You know, I don't know. There's been a few games that have touched on this. I've often thought that this was an obvious area open to explore. So
I don't think I ever heard about the Academy in the original, right? Like maybe some, but you heard it a lot in TNG. Them talking about the Academy.
Absolutely, yeah. The newer Discovery has, of course, Tilly in it. Who you do hear a lot more about the Academy when Discovery came out. But and that is kind of one of the things that I believe she's in it. And I think that's why they had her leave Discovery. And I just don't care for that character at all. I mean, there's not anything nice I could say, so I won't say anything more. I just don't care for that character at all. There
was a lot in Discovery I didn't care for, and
yeah, well, that just seemed like it was representative of a certain group or certain. It seemed like it was representative of a certain ideal that is not. That's not even what I'm trying to. Just like a whole group, not one ideal. It's like that character was representative of all the. Never mind. Let's move on. I don't think there's any way I could say that.
So Starfleet Academy, it's going to be set in the 32nd century.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
And
that's all we know. That's all we know at this point. She's probably in it 32nd century coming out. I don't know. We have no idea yet.
All of the little tidbits we've been given about the Academy throughout, like TNG and whatnot, I would say that's a high bar they have to live up to, right?
Yeah.
Because it'll have to be like Academy, obviously, and whatnot, but there'll have to be shenanigans. There'll have to be a lot high-risk maneuvers and sketchy stuff going on, right?
Absolutely.
So we'll see.
Hopefully they'll have something like they did with Wesley, doing those sketchy maneuvers you were talking about.
Right.
Culver Starburst or whatever it's called. Absolutely. All right, so that got everything in the outside news we wanted to cover. We can move into Star Wars land. Yay! Star Wars celebration. Celebration night. Come on.
Confetti everywhere.
Yeah. What are you, Rip Torn? Not Rip Torn. Dude, honestly, this is my worst episode ever. I want to go on record as saying that. I feel like I am having the worst absolute podcast ever. Oh, man. I should never smoke that much weed beforehand. God, I mean, I keep making these references that are half right. What? I'm sorry. See, now I'm talking over you. What?
I was just saying you should probably save it for afterwards.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. I enjoy the little bit of chaos it provides, but not. I don't know. I just feel like I'm dropping a lot of references and they're half right. Like, see, I'll make a Rip Torn, not Rip Taylor. I'll get the half of it right. Could you imagine that mashup? What would that look like? I'm trying to think of Rip Torn's character in the Beastmaster. That was him as the as that evil shaman or whatever. Have him mixed with Rip Taylor throwing confetti everywhere. That's a weird mashup for sure.
Definitely.
Oh, Beastmaster! Yay! Oh, Jesus. All right. Yeah, Star Wars Celebrations. A lot of great stuff came down.
Big news.
Big news. And a trailer. I saw the Ahsoka trailer.
I have not seen that yet.
Oh, you didn't check it out? Oh, yeah, it looks great. We finally get to see Thrawn. I saw Thrawn, a live-action Ezra Bridger, a live-action Hera, a live-action Sabine. Of course, we've already seen Ahsoka in Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, it's pretty cool looking. I mean, it's going to be kind of like, I guess, in a way, like having a live-action Rebels almost.
I haven't seen the guy who's going to be playing Thrawn and a lot of stuff, but I have seen a few things that he's done in the American market or English market, whatever.
Yeah.
And I can see it. I can see it working.
I don't even know who
Mickelson.
it is.
Mickelsen's his last name.
Oh, dude, him? Yeah, that is it Lance Mickelson or something like, or the Heinrich Mickelson or something like that? Mike Mickelson, Mick Mickelson. Let's just go with Mickelson.
It may not be who you're talking about. I mean, that's one of those like.
It's not the guy that did. It's not the guy that did Hannibal, this TV series, is it?
No.
And the last Fantastic Beasts.
No, that was another Mickelson.
Yeah, I like that guy a lot. He's in the new Indiana Jones movie, which,
speaking of,
had a new trailer come out. I don't have it in the news, but I was going to bring it up anyway, and I'm glad I segued into it. We'll just say it's kind of part of Star Wars Celebrations. Yeah, nice, cool.
It ties into something, right? Mangold. Mangold's getting a one of these.
Yeah, he's supposed to be getting one of these three. Wait, I got to do the European 3. Towards the camera, 3. There we go. 3 new movies, not trilogy related, all this jazz. Although one of them is a Rey sequel.
Right.
Definitely could consider it part of that trilogy. Anyway, it's supposed to take place 15 years after the fact.
We'll see what all they try and brush under the rug. Right?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it's supposed to. We do know it's supposed to take place 15 years after the fact, and that they're starting a new Jedi Order, just like the Thrawn novels. To me, as far as that's how those started up. The New Republic was starting up, and Luke was putting together a new Jedi Order. Real quick, back to the Indiana Jones thing. Yeah, so Mangold is supposed to be getting one of these movies. I hope they don't can these. We'll get to that in just a second. Let me say something about this Indiana Jones trailer that came out. They've already had one of them come out, and it was very good. It had the typical kind of, Indiana Jones type music going on during the whole trailer. Well, this new trailer, while it looks great, most of the music was not Indiana Jones sounding.
Right.
Until maybe the last last third of it or something like that, they finally kick on the theme or something like that. But yeah, it just didn't fit. Now, we've grown up Gen X with Indiana from day one. I saw it in the theater, the very first movie. Remember it like it was yesterday. And you had Spielberg directing, you had George Lucas, who owned Lucasfilm, who was producing, and it was a very stylized look. The trailers had a very stylized look, and the music and everything. And, they've had a movie come out, number 4, that didn't have Spielberg directing it, but they still managed to maintain that same feel with their trailers and everything. And now here we are in number 5, and Lucasfilm has no George Lucas fingerprints touching it. You don't have Spielberg's fingerprints touching it. Only Disney. And this is the first time it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
For me, I'm bummed a bit about it.
I was looking something up. It's Lars Mikkelsen.
Lars Mikkelsen
be playing Thrawn.
Yeah, I know that name. I don't know the face. I'm sure I would if I saw it.
I'm trying to remember what he was in, but we can get back to your feelings of abandonment.
I'm sure it'll be fine in the actual movie. I just feel like this trailer's letting me down as far as the legacy goes.
Yeah.
So I just had to get that off my chest.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's like how many more indie movies can we have, right?
I don't know. Well, I knew he was going to have this one because it was part of his deal to come and do Star Wars.
Yeah.
And this was all for Harrison, so let's hope he makes the best of it. I suspect there's time travel involved because I swear I saw de-aged Harrison Ford in there a couple times. I don't know if they're flashbacks or what, but yeah, either flashbacks or I'm not,
time travel.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Time travel. Hold on, I'm gonna pause this for just a second. Yeah, so all right, that covers. Let's see. So we mentioned Ray and her movie. We mentioned the one with Mangold, and what was the other? There was a third movie about. Oh yeah. The First Jedi. Yeah. So that's going back a bit. That's going Old Republic.
I thought Mangold was doing that one.
Is that the one Mangold's doing? Okay, so that's.
Yeah, I think I remember him saying something about like. He viewed it as like a chance to do something like the Ten Commandments.
You're right. You're very right. I know what the third movie is. It's David Filoni's movie.
Yes.
Dave Filoni's movie. And this is a Mandoverse movie. So we're going to be left with, at the end of this third season, with a resolution of sorts. And I guess he'll wrap that up in this movie he's going to get. So yeah, it's all Mandoverse. It's about the Imperial Remnant and the New Republic.
Yeah.
That's all we know at this point. So it's just going to probably continue on where he left off with Mando. Very exciting news with those movies. Now, I did mention...
Mando.
Yeah. Well, I did mention that they've announced movies in the past, like Book of Boba Fett. Originally, there was going to be a Boba Fett movie, so that's probably what a lot of the book took from, I don't know, whoever wrote what they wrote for that first movie. But they made a few announcements back then. You remember like Rogue One? I mean, not Rogue. It was like Rogue Squadron, I think, or something like that was one of them. And Book of or it was just a Boba Fett movie. It wasn't called Book of Boba Fett. But, so they've done this kind of announcement thing before. So let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that all these actually happen. And this isn't just some, bluster. Of course, things happen that's also outside of Disney's control, where people get irritated or just don't work well with other people, and you have to make moves to fix the situation. So,
well, I mean, that's what I was going to say about Mando. I mean, how could we not see all this drama with it, right? I mean, you've got Pedro Pascal playing a leading man whose face you never see.
Yes, yeah,
that's bound to get to you, right? Especially considering I don't think he really does. He doesn't come from like a BO background, does he?
I don't believe so. But that's going into something else we were going to talk about, which is Mando. Why does Mando feel so off? Mando season 3 specifically. And you bring up something that we're hearing that Favreau said, just threw his hands up and said, okay, I guess he's just going to be in the background. He's not writing anything. A very good source of a source we saw, a source of a source of a source said that he's thrown his hands up. He's not touching anything writing-wise. That I guess Kathleen Kennedy has managed to piss him off by trying to get too involved. I think she basically... and also pissed. Pedro Pascal apparently has been irritated or irritable even for the production,
right?
By wanting to have his helmet off more.
Well, to go back to what you were saying about Kathleen, I think it's been a problem with a lot of projects she's been involved with, where the artist, right, wants creative control, and she's only willing to give so much of that. Yeah,
well, and you have to be that way. It's not the artist, IP.
Yeah.
They're there to do a job, and these guys need to, just because a show's successful, they need to realize that it's the IP that's successful. They just happen to be an actor who got the lucky job of being in a cool ass suit. Really, because dude, you could throw anybody in there. Pedro Pascal's a lucky son of a bitch, and he needs to remember that. He's a good actor. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not saying that, but it ain't hard to be under a mask. If you can half-ass act or walk around, you don't even have to.
Well, I mean, he's only under the mask in the scenes where we see him take it off, right?
Yeah, that's the other point. They've got that stunt guy doing most of the walking around and stuff. They did that in the first season, they did a whole episode without him. He just did the VO work.
They have two guys, right? So there's the one guy who's like an expert in capoeira and all this other stuff. He does a lot of those more physical acting stuff. And I think the other guy's last name is Martin or whatever. They always show them together in the credits. It's Martin or whatever his name is and Crowder. And I think Martin may be from like a stunt man background. Yeah. So he may be doing some of the more stunt type stuff and Crowder doing more of the martial arts type stuff.
Right on. I knew they had at least one guy. Obviously they're going to have a stunt guy. But yeah, the one of those guys has his whole walk down and everything. I mean, you can't even tell the difference.
Yeah.
So just doesn't matter who you are, you can be replaced, especially in this day and age. The way CG is, man, it's, I guess you run into likeness issues there, but that would be kind of wild if somebody, I mean, we've already seen what people have passed on, Yeah. We've had likenesses. And I think it works pretty well in a lot of cases. It's been a little rough in some areas, but just the fact that you can have it and it looks close enough, to me, it's okay. I like it.
Yeah, well, I don't know what they did with the Luke Skywalker character in book.
Yeah.
That was in book, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where he was on the ship. But the guy that's playing him actually looks a whole lot like him in the first place.
Yeah. Honestly, they probably could have just tried to do some blending a little bit.
Yeah,
they probably could have just used most of his face.
Yeah,
and not had it look so CG. There's just there's a problem with dead eyes you have to worry about, and just this look, and you can see it on any AI art. It's the same. They just can't get that skin quite right.
A lot of stiffness here, a lot of times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just getting that skin tone quite right. It's like, I don't know if they'll ever get past that. I really don't, because it's almost like what am I trying to say? Like a stroke the brush stroke of a painter. You know how certain painters, their brush stroke? It's almost like this is going to be CG's brush stroke no matter what happens. Like this is just how you're going to know it's CG.
Well, I wanted to bring up Tarkin on that.
All right. Bring it up.
Because that was one of the big things before Tarkin. It was all, you could do a lot with surface and light and all this other stuff, but that was one of the first models where they had that translucent luminescence. They had the red on his outline and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first for that. I still haven't seen a whole lot of it since then, but that's a major leap forward, in my opinion. That looked more realistic than most anything I had seen up to that point.
Yeah. Things like that. Things like this real-time ray tracing and stuff are going to help a lot too.
Right.
It really, as far as realistic light's concerned, you just cannot get it. I mean, you're not going to get anything better than that. You don't have that, you're not getting true realistic lighting.
Yep.
It's a very good approximation. There's a lot of games that don't have it. But man, when you see it next to each other, there was a recent demo that just came out for the Cyberpunk game. You saw that?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
I did not.
A high.
For the
RTX,
the DLC.
Yeah, there's like what was it? What did they call it? It was something RTX. It's like a 4K RTX, maybe. I don't know. It just came out. Cyberpunk just added as a upgrade or something. You got like a 3080 or 3090 or 4080, 4090 card. Or I guess any RTX card, really, but you probably won't get very far except on those two cards.
Is the movie that Mangold's making, is that The Acolyte?
That's a show.
Okay.
So we know.
I'm confusing that with something else then. There's something that is like a title or something.
Well, you have the Acolyte that's coming out. It's a show. You have the what's it called? They're like it was going to be Cara Dune's group.
Yeah,
I can't think of the name of it. And then you have Ahsoka, which is coming in August. I don't know if I said that, but she's going to be coming out in August.
I don't think we mentioned that.
Yeah, so that's good. And Andor season 2 is likely going to be released in late summer of 2024. I don't think we mentioned.
No, you're super looking forward to that.
I know, I am. Yes. But I mean, you never know. I mean, look at Mando right now, man. But yeah, and we were still on the subject of why Mando is so off. There's other reasons besides the Favreau thing and Kathleen Kennedy. Being a pain in the ass. You got fans you got your hardcore fans like us, and you got your casual fans that just want to watch a show and not have to know everything about Star Wars. Right. Just want to watch a good show, which the first season stood on its own. That's why it was so successful. You didn't have to know a lot. You could just enjoy a good old Star Wars show. Well, and don't get me wrong, I love all this stuff. You have to know
Cowboys in space.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. But this new stuff, man, you have to know a shit ton about the Clone Wars TV series and a shit ton about Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
If you don't,
and there's been a lot of media on that.
Yeah, and a lot of people are taking a shit on it, but the guys, the uber nerds like us, are fine with it because most of us know exactly what's going on, and we think it's great because I mean it's kind of all what we wanted, guys.
Yeah,
this is always what we've wanted.
Well, it's dealing with subjects we always wanted. It may not be what we wanted.
Well, I mean, when I say what we wanted, I say live action TV show. That's something we've never had. Lucas's attempt at that back in the day. If y'all have ever gone online and seen that, it's gotten released. It's it's rough. It's real rough. There's just so much more to look forward to about Star Wars now. We're getting to see this universe so fleshed out. And we're going to have to talk about it even more here in a little bit with the new Mandalorian episode when we record those. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if we're going to run into the same thing as like Marvel and DC with this, though, is just too many voices and, just all this stuff. And I don't know, there needs to be like a rich tapestry established, in my opinion.
Yeah, the problem is you're right. It could get like Marvel, and you're going to have all these intertwining stories and whatnot, and that's kind of what pissed Favreau off. Kathleen's trying to get, her Ahsoka stuff in there, or it's something to do with like changing the story. You got Bo-Katan all of a sudden the main character in Mandalore.
Right.
It's not the Mandalorian; it's the Bo-Katan show, and I think Favreau and certainly. Pedro Pascal are taking a lot of issue with that. But this is what you run into because she's trying to, make sure this is, or I think maybe a certain character got pulled from from the show to put in another show. Kind of what happened, something like that. And that's exactly what you're going to run into. It's going to cause problems when you start trying to do that. Unless they're all the same team. They're supposed to be on the same team anyway, but what I mean that is all the same production company. Like Favreau and Filoni doing The Mandalorian, they would also have to do Ahsoka and The Acolyte, because that's what Kathleen's, her baby's The Acolyte.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We can talk more about that maybe on when we talk about The Mandalorian, but
yeah, I
don't know really what's going on with Kathleen Kennedy and the whole thing. All we hear is rumors. A lot of them do turn out to be true, but have to wait and see what comes out and judge it when it comes out and hope for the best. That's all we can do.
You already mentioned that Daisy is coming back for Rey, I think. And how good is that for her? Because I don't think I've seen her since, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably why she came back. I mean, she's done. I think she did something. I mean, she's worked, but yeah, her star seems to be dwindling, fading. So it wouldn't hurt her to have this as a little backup and keep. As long as you're in the people's eye, they're never gonna forget you. But so take what you get.
She got some hate, not Jar Jar Binks level hate, but she got some hate.
Yeah. Yeah. What can you do, man?
Yeah.
Can't please people all the time. Not 100% of the time. Anything else?
What else we got?
No, I guess that's about it.
I can't see anything.
All right. Well, good deal, man. Well,
I think something else you want to chat about, or you want to kill it?
No, I think we're going to kill it there because I am just pooping all over this podcast. This one will be the worst one we ever view. Watch everybody view it now. Of course, they won't know it's bad until they watch it. I don't think we get more than a couple minutes viewing at a time, maybe. But anyway, we thank you guys for watching us. I will try to be in a better frame of mind next week. But until then, we appreciate you guys being here. And we'll see you on the flip side. Peace out.